Thank you, Ryan. One day when I grow up, I'll be able to sing. What a powerful message, the power of one, and a powerful reminder. Many of you are aware that Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, authored a book entitled The 12 Powers of Man. In that book, he talked about the 12 powers or the 12 faculties of mind that, when spiritualized, will enable us to step into our Christ-likeness, to really become, in expression, the image and likeness of the divine here on earth. Each month here at Unity, we acknowledge one of these 12 spiritual faculties. He called them the 12 powers. We call them the 12 faculties or the 12 principles. For the month of May, the faculty or the power is divine power. Let's affirm that 3 times with power. Divine power, divine power, divine power. The disciple that corresponds with this spiritual power, this faculty, is Philip. So all of you who are born in the month of May, you May babies, you are the power babies. So don't be afraid to work and use your power and remind us all of our power. The color that is attached to this spiritual faculty is purple, so you'll see shades of purple all month. And if you would take your hand and rest it on your throat, this is your power center. It aligns, it's very similar to the 7 chakras, and those of you who are quite familiar with the 7 chakras. This is your power center. This is where your power faculty abides in the body. It is the back of the throat, the root of the tongue. So as you sense and feel any discomfort or dis-ease or sensations in the throat area, it is a call for you to spiritualize, to work with your Philip, that is the disciple that corresponds with the spiritual faculty. Work with that power center and allow it to work for you. Our call, as you rest your hands, thank you. Our call as metaphysicians, and metaphysician means that we go beyond meta. We transcend the physical. We go beyond what is showing up in the physical. Our call as metaphysicians and as unitics, and we were reminded at the last service that we are unitics. If you believe in the principles of unity, you are a unitic. If you work and apply the principles of unity, you are a unitic. If you are a member of Unity Church of Hawaii, you are a unitic. If you are attending service at Unity Church of Hawaii, you are a unitic. Are there any unitics here other than Jack Bomar? And if you are streaming, you too are a unitic. Meaning that we stand on principle. It says, heaven and earth may pass away, but the word of truth will remain through all eternity. Amen and amen. Thank you for the amen. So our call as metaphysicians, as unitics, our call is to work, to use these 12 spiritual powers that we might bring into manifestation, into our reality, the presence and power of this great spirit that is known by many names. And I say it day in and day out, God, I don't believe that this presence and power really care what name we give it, him or her. As long as we call on it, we have a relationship with it. The one way to really activate or to utilize this faculty of power is through our words and our thoughts. So I'm going to invite you to join me in using our words and thoughts by affirming this affirmation. I invite you to do it with power and to sort of do it as you hear me doing it. I have the power. You did very well. We're going to try to, you did so good, we're going to do it again. I have the power. I am the power to change my life, my world, and my affairs. Friends, in keeping with this faculty of the month, divine power, for the next few minutes, I want to talk about the power of possibility. The power of possibility. Possibility with respect to health and wholeness and well-being. Possibility in respect to our total well-being. Possibility. What is possible? and the power of that awaits and that's available to each one of us. I'm reminded of the story of the boy who was playing in the yard. It had gotten late, and he was gazing into the heavens. And there, fixated on the full moon, there was something about that just intrigued him. And his father went out to the yard, say, "Son, it's time to come in the house. It's time to go to bed." The child was just there, mesmerized by this full moon. He was sensing, feeling, seeing something. His father said, "Son, it's time to come in the house." And so the child entered the house, went upstairs into his room. He walked to the window, parted his curtains, and there he took his seat, and he was mesmerized by this full moon. It was as though he was sensing and feeling and seeing something that his conscious mind could not explain. He got a glimpse of, it was a very transcendent moment where he got to peer behind the veils of the future. And his father entered the room and saw his child gazing at this full moon. And there he says, "Son, it's time to go to bed. It's bedtime." And without batting an eye, that child said, "Father, one day I'm going to walk on that moon." And friends, who would know that 32 years later, James Irwin would stand that day as the 8th man to walk on the moon. Friends, the power of possibility is unlimited. It has been stated that the future is not a place we are going. The future is a place we get to create. You can say amen to that. It's not where we are going. We're not going into tomorrow. We are creating our tomorrow right here and right now. And I would dare say that today is the residual outcome of what we thought and spoke and created yesterday. Friends, we will meet our word and our thoughts. It is the principle of the universe. The universe is indeed the realm of possibility. Not only is it a realm of possibility, it is a realm of endless possibility. In fact, it says that anything, everything is possible, and the only thing that limits the creative potential of possibility in the universe and in our lives for ourselves is our very own belief. Your belief, my belief, stops, blocks, obstructs, calls to halt the possibilities that await each one of us. In fact, it was stated, if you go to sacred texts, the master teacher had a conversation with a young man, with a man who challenged him sort of on this principle. He asked, he was there, his son was sick, his son was ill, and he asked the master teacher, "If you can, will you help us?" Listen very closely. If you can. The master teacher paused. And he spoke some words that were so bold and so, stupendous, so just totally paradigm shifting. He says, if I can, no, it's not about if I can. Then he puts it back on the man. He says, if you can believe, if only you can believe, all things are possible to you, for you. So it's not a matter of if I can. It's not a matter of if God can, if the Great Spirit can. Of course. And so can you. Isn't that good news? So in this lesson, the master teacher says, believe in the possibility. Believe in the possibility of health. Believe in the possibility of wellness. Believe in the possibility of wholeness. Believe in the possibility of unity. Believe in the possibility of peace. Believe in the idea that at any moment something unexpected can unfold and lead to new divine inspiration. If you only believe, he says. Friends, the key to working the power of possibility is to be open to seeing the opportunity and willing to take the risk. It was stated that it would be a travesty to have an opportunity for greater good, and not be prepared to step into it. Oh, what a missed opportunity. Friends, the magic is in being able to step through that door, that open door of possibility when it opens. And you know, I was taught years ago that possibilities are endless. And when it seems like one possibility have shifted over here, what has happened is that shift has opened up a new possibility over there. And as long as we are in that consciousness, we'll see and experience it. Possibility thinking is the first level of prayer. That is where the power comes from. Possibility thinking transcends race and color and creed, transcends orientation and preferences. Possibility thinking even transcends age. Oh yeah, doesn't matter your age. In fact, the story is told of the young man who was walking through the cemetery. Young cat, you know, listening to his headphones and listening to his music, jiving to his music and having a good time. Walking through the cemetery on his way home at night. Didn't realize that there was a big hole right there in front of him. Walking, listening to his music, dancing, fell right in the hole. He screamed, he hollered, he yelled, he scratched, he clawed, he did everything he could to get up out of that hole, to no avail. He decided that there was no need of trying any longer. Took a seat over in the corner of that dark hole. Same path, an older gentleman, walking the same path, whistling on his way home. Fell in the same hole. He yelled, he screamed, he clawed, he cried. To no avail. Didn't realize that the young fellow was in the same hole, in the hole as well, over in the corner. And out of the darkness of that corner, he heard, man, there's no need of trying. You're not going anywhere tonight. But that older gentleman got so full of possibility, got himself up out of that hole, made it home sooner than already, and quicker than right now. And before that young man could say boo, he made it home. He got out. Possibility motivated him. Possibility is a great motivator. When you get a glimpse of what is possible, nothing and no one can stop that divine plan in your life. Nothing. Say it. Nothing. Nothing. And no one can stand in the way of what God intends for my life. And I have this thing. Either you get out of my way, get on board. This train is coming. I'm going to run you over. When you make up your mind and you get so full of the possibility. And friends, when we consider the seeming impossibilities in our world, as we consider a world that appears to be plagued with war and violence and hatred and bigotry, of injustices, the question and if we juxtapose that idea with Gandhi's idea of a nation of peace and harmony, and Dr. King's idea of the sisterhood and brotherhood of all creation, the beloved community, if we juxtapose those two, the question that we're called to ask, is it possible? If you consider your own life, some of you who have gone through some very challenging experiences and maybe still going through some very challenging experiences, health experiences, maybe the body, financially, in your relationship. If you consider those things, the question that we're called to ask and consider today, is it possible? All things are possible to those who believe. I want to share with you as I prepare to close the 10 Commandments of the Power of Possibility by the late Reverend Dr. Robert Schuller. Nothing happens until somebody gets a vision, has a dream that is possible. The first commandment that Dr. Schuller says is never reject a possibility because you see something wrong with it. Just because you see something wrong with it doesn't mean that it should stop, it should not happen. Think about if the Wright brothers decided, because all of those great ministers in their hometown saw something wrong with their creation. What if they had allowed the rejection of that possibility? They didn't want to walk any longer. They wanted to fly. What if they had allowed the rejection of a few to stop that divine idea? Where would we be today? Swimming. What if Henry Ford had decided that he didn't want to walk any longer, he wanted to roll, and allowed the rejection of the limited, of those few around who could not see the possibility? Oh, that is not of God. There's only bad in that. Dr. Schuller says, never reject a possibility because you see something wrong with it. Number 2, never reject a possibility because you won't get the credit. It's okay if we don't get the credit. Says God can do terrific things through the person who doesn't care who gets the credit. If your wife brings forth the idea, it's okay. You don't have to reject it. If your husband brings the idea, or your spouse or your partner, it is okay. You don't have to get the credit. If we really understand that we are one, the idea, we are one. So if it comes through you, it comes through me as well. We are one, right? Number 3. Never reject an idea simply because it is impossible. Well, every truly great idea is impossible. That's what makes it stand out. It hasn't been done yet. That's what makes it so great. Number 4, never reject a possibility because your mind is already made up. I've already made up my mind. I can't, that's not even possible. No, I've already. Unmake it. And consider that there is always something better. That's our constant prayer. This or something better. Together. This or something better. There's always the better if the mind is open to receive it. Number 5, never reject an idea because it is illegal. Well, this is not to suggest nor advocate or approve anything in any illegal act. Now, hear me correct. Listen closely. There are some ordinances and regulations that we need to be done away with. It needs to go away. You should be free to marry whoever you want to marry. And to get the benefits and to share in the life and love, you should be free. We all should be free, have the freedom of speech. Nobody should be rejected or denied the opportunity to live in this life of abundance because of the color of your skin, or because of your gender, or because of your orientation, or because of your size, or because of your education, or because of your socioeconomic status. No one. Yeah, and anything that says otherwise, we need to do away with that. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. Number 6, I'm wrapping it up, I know. Never reject an idea because you don't have the money, the manpower, or the mental power, or the muscle, or the time to pull it off. That doesn't matter. Let me give you this very quickly. It says the story is told, true story, of a truck driver, age 33, who was sitting in his lawn chair in his backyard. It was always his desire to fly. He wanted to fly. Well, flying in a plane wasn't an option for him. Hang gliding wasn't an option because there was no place to hang glide in his area near his home. So he spent a lot of his summer days in the backyard in his lawn. You know the old lawn chair. I'm not talking about the fancy lawn chairs I'm talking about that old thread lawn chair. You know what I'm talking. It had y'all don't know. It had the webs. Yes. And the metal, the metal frame. And if you didn't watch it, you would slide, fall. Anyway. He was sitting on his lawn chair and decided that he wanted to fly. The possibility of flying got a hold of him. And so this one particular day, he hooked 45 helium-filled weather balloons to his lawn chair. He put a CB radio in his lap. He tied a paper bag full of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to his leg. He slung a BB gun over his shoulder to pop the balloons when he was ready to come down. He lifted off in his lawn chair, expecting to climb a couple of 100 feet over his neighborhood, but Larry Walters soared 11,000 feet. Right through the approach corridor of the Los Angeles airport. Possibility, the power of possibility. And his life has never been the same since. Friends, when you get full of possibility and possibility begins to abide in you, nothing and no one will stand in your way. Number 7, never reject an idea because it will generate conflict. Oh yeah, every good idea will meet opposition. There's going to always be conflict. But as Mother Teresa, or as at least the sign that was hung on her wall, I hear that she didn't really write it. It was a gentleman here in Hawaii that wrote it. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. If there's opposition, if there's conflict, do it anyway. This is the test. This is where the rubber meets the road, and this makes the difference. This separates the leaders from the followers, the imitators and the originators. Number 8, never reject an idea because it is not your style. Oh, that's not my thing. I can't get with that like that. It's not about the style. It's about the success. Your success and the success of all of those around you. Number 9, never reject an idea because it might fail. So what? Attempt it anyway. The line says, I'd rather attempt to do something great and fail than attempt to do nothing and succeed. Number 10, never reject an idea because it is sure to succeed. You can dream, you can live in a free country, you can have and experience all that you desire to have. All things are possible according to your belief. I leave you with these closing words in this familiar song that you know so well. Thank you. To dream the impossible dream. To fight the unbeatable foe. To bear with unbearable sorrow. To run where the brave dare not go. To right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary to reach the unreachable star. Friends, this is the power that we have. This is the power that we are given today. It is the power of possibility. Nothing is impossible to those that believe. God bless you.